In Durban, the Govender brothers are known as prominent businessmen, owners of a successful security company with alleged political ties to the ANC. But behind the polished image, a darker tale was unfolding. Ferrell Govender was reportedly in a relationship with the woman who, unbeknownst to him, or perhaps not, was also involved with another man, Shailen Signh. Tensions quietly escalated. Then came the threats. Shailen began receiving chilling messages, death threats sent straight to his phone, and on the 29th of December 2024, those threats became a reality. In the upscale neighborhood of Umhlanga, Shayen Singh was ambushed and laid down in broad daylight. And the motive? Many believe it was personal. A woman caught between the two men. Jealousy ignited and turned deadly. Now in this episode, we take a look into the case that sent shockwaves through KwaZulu-Natal. This is the murder of Shailen Signh. The Govender brothers are high-profile businessmen with deep roots in KwaZulu-Natal's construction and security industries. Collectively, the brothers employ over 3,000 people across their enterprises. But behind their polished reputation lies a murkier tale. In 2002, the state's Anti-Corruption Special Investigating Unit exposed a staggering 182 million rands in irregularities tied to the procurement of personal protective equipment during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. At the time, the Limpopo Department of Health awarded the 185 million rands PPE contract to the KwaZulu-Natal-based company, despite it not appearing on the official suppliers database. Now that company, Prosecure, was one of 216 hand-picked firms to share in Limpopo's 932 million rands PPE splurge. Most of the beneficiaries were allegedly linked to politically connected individuals, ANC activists, or relatives of high-ranking officials and prominent politicians. Amid the chaos, Ferrell Govender, divorced and a father of three, found himself entangled in a personal drama that added fuel to an already scandalous fire. Ferrell had been dating a young woman from Candlewood. Unbeknownst to him, she was also seeing a 32-year-old Shailen Singh, the owner of Shale Trans, a successful logistics company. Now Shailen was married to Tamika and had a son, was said to have been romantically involved with Ferrell's girlfriend. When Ferrell discovered the affair, things turned dark. Furious and betrayed, he allegedly began harassing Shailen with death threats. Reports suggest that Ferrell may have even physically assaulted his girlfriend in a fit of rage over her possible affair with Shailen. The tension had been simmering for days. One day, Ferrell made a call to Shayen Singh, proposing a face-to-face meeting in Umhlanga, a confrontation that would end in bloodshed. It was just after 12 midday when Shailen, seated in his white Toyota Hilux buggy, parked at 39 Meridian Drive, waited unknowingly for what would be his final moment. Ferrell, anticipating the meeting could turn violent, had called in backup, his brother, Daryl Govender. Now Ferrell arrived in a black BMW X5, while Daryl followed close behind in a Ford Ranger. The plan was set in motion. As Shailen sat in his vehicle, the Govender brothers pulled up. Ferrell approached first, confronting him directly through the car window. Within seconds, the confrontation escalated. Ferrell drew a weapon, and without hesitation, he pulled the trigger 5 times. Shailen was hit in rapid succession, slamming over the wheel, lifeless. The scene was brutal. Shailen was laid down on the spot. Witnesses later reported seeing the brothers calmly walk away from the scene, and CCTV cameras captured their vehicles leaving the area, sealing their involvement in the cold-blooded execution. What followed was almost surreal. Instead of fleeing the province or going underground, the brothers allegedly returned to Ferrell's home, where in a bizarre twist of normalcy, they sat down to eat Nando's for lunch. They hanged out at Ferrell's place until around 7 p.m. Meanwhile, chaos unfolded elsewhere. A call came through to Shailen's father from a private security company. Something had happened. Shailen had been shot. Rushing to Umhlanga, The family arrived only to be confronted with an unthinkable reality: the lifeless body of their son. Police launched an investigation immediately, and it didn't take long to identify the suspects. But when the officers went looking for the suspects, Farrell and Darrell had vanished without a trace. Then 3 days after the shooting, on the 1st of January 2025, just as the new year dawned, the brothers unexpectedly handed themselves over to the authorities. The courtroom was electric with tension when the Govender brothers finally appeared before the magistrate. Every seat was taken. On one side, the grief-stricken family and the friends of Shailen Singh, and on the other, the loyal supporters of the Govender brothers. Outside, a swelling crowd gathered, many clad in t-shirts boldly declaring the brothers' innocence, and the Singh family with t-shirts of Shailen on them. It was like a standoff between the two clans outside the court. The Govenders applied for bail, but the judge wasn't swayed. The state argued fiercely that the accused posed a serious threat to witnesses. One name in particular loomed large: Farrell's girlfriend. She was reportedly terrified for her life. Not only was she a potential key witness, but reports also surfaced that Farrell had assaulted her after learning of her involvement with Shailen. Her fear wasn't unfounded. In their affidavits, the brothers denied any involvement in Shailen's murder. But this was no ordinary case. It was classified as a Schedule 6 offense, the most serious level. It indicates that the state believed that this was a cold and a calculated, premeditated hit. The state, in an explosive 27-page affidavit, laid out why the Govender brothers are suspected of orchestrating the cold-blooded hit of Shailen. Now, the prosecutor told the court that the motive was personal, a deadly fallout over an affair. Singh had allegedly been romantically involved with Farrell's girlfriend. Now, the prosecutor also revealed that Singh's wife had informed the police that her husband had been receiving death threats from Farrell prior to the murder. Then came the smoking gun, the CCTV footage, placing both Farrell and his brother Darrell at the scene in Umhlanga at the exact same time that Singh was laid down.
The Durban Magistrates Court says if released on bail, Farrell Govender is likely to undermine the proper functioning of the justice system. Magistrate Kevin Broughton said the accused failed to present the existence of exceptional circumstances which could warrant his release. The state's evidence has also been deemed satisfactory that Farrell would likely intimidate witnesses, including the girlfriend in question. The accused's failure to surrender his firearm has also been considered. According to the state's cell phone records, revealed that Farrell called the deceased Shailen Singh several times on the day of the incident. The state further revealed that it also has CCTV footage placing the accused at the crime scene. However, in relation to the second accused, Darren Govender's involvement, the court found parts of the state's evidence to be inadmissible. In granting Darren bail, Magistrate Broughton highlighted that he does not pose a flight risk, reacting.
According to the state, the footage reportedly shows Farrell standing at the passenger side of Shailen's vehicle. He fires 2 shots, pauses, and then unloads another 8. In the aftermath, Darrell is seen pulling Farrell away from the vehicle and escorting him back to the black BMW X5 before fleeing the scene. Darrell Govender was eventually granted bail, set at 200,000 rands after a second attempt. Now, his defense team argued that during the identity parade, the primary eyewitness failed to identify him as being present at the scene. And importantly, he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger. More allegations surfaced, claims that Farrell not only threatened Singh before the murder, but also physically assaulted his girlfriend and threatened to lay her down as well, execution style. With Shailen now dead, the state believes those threats were not idle. They fear that if Farrell is granted bail, he may carry out the rest of his threats. Adding a layer of complexity, the key witness in the identity parade pointed to someone other than Farrell as the shooter. This raises questions about the reliability of eyewitnesses' testimony and puts even more pressure on the state to produce the CCTV footage it claims shows Farrell pulling the trigger. For now, the case remains in court, with shocking twists, hidden motives, and a community demanding justice. All eyes are on the trial.